Is Apple really selling AirPods for almost $200? What all was revealed at the DC Fandom? And why were the 2022 Marvel movies delayed again? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus, and first off, I just want to go ahead and say that it is freaking cold outside. Of course, for all of you that didn't know, if you're new to the Toddcast or anything like that, I am in the state of Louisiana, and it is now starting to get cold. It is current, which I know this isn't cold for most places, but for down here in the South, this is actually kind of cold. It is currently 57 degrees outside. And it was like 80-something, close to 90 yesterday, I felt like. And it started raining yesterday. It rained a lot yesterday. And it's been one of those days where it's like cloudy and misting like all day. And one of those, and it's gotten cold because this is like the beginning of our winter. Usually around Halloween is when it starts to cool down a little bit. But it's also Louisiana, so therefore it could be 90 degrees tomorrow or even next week, something like that. And, I mean, right now, it's going to get down to the 40s and during the night sometimes this week. So it's going to be, it's weird. Because it stays hot for Louisiana and the South in general, but mainly where I'm at in the state of Louisiana. It usually stays warm like 7 to 8 months out of the year. And then right around Halloween, like I said, and going into November is when it gets cold. And then it usually stays cold until like maybe like mid-March, like early March or something like that. That's usually when it gets warmed up again, and then it gets back to, your regular 90 to 100 degree weather here in Louisiana. So that's all of your weather update for all of you out there. I just want to say that in case if you hear it raining in the background, because I don't know if it's going to pick up or not. It's currently just a light mist outside, but the wind is blowing like crazy outside, and it is cold, and I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt, which is the normal thing I wear, but still, I mean, it's pretty warm, or it's pretty cold outside, and I'll probably have to break out the jacket here in the next week or two. So that's your weather update, your Louisiana weather update for all of you out there. So first off, I wanted to go ahead and start off with a little bit of news. I guess I can go ahead and talk about this, is that I'm pretty sure all of you have heard about the Alec Baldwin tragedy that has happened this past week. It's not that Alec Baldwin is hurt or anything, but if none of you have heard about this, let me Google it to make sure I get everything correct about this. So Alec Baldwin is in the state of New Mexico, I think, and they are recording a movie called Rust. It is an independent movie, and I'm just reading different stuff. There has been something that it is a tragedy that what happened apparently is that, just the rundown of it, is that Alec Baldwin, he's 63 years old. Good Lord. I didn't know he was that old. Which he's been around forever also. He was on the set of a movie called Rust that they are currently filming in New Mexico, and apparently he was handed a prop gun, which of course is just, your prop guns are usually, most of them are fake, and they don't shoot at all, and they are just for looks if you're recording, whether it be a Western movie or a Star Wars movie or any movie that has a gun in it, where a gun is used in any type of movie, doesn't matter what genre it is. A prop gun is because they're not going to give you a real gun, of course. But sometimes they do give you guns that fire blank rounds, and I don't know if this gun was like a real gun, but from what I've heard, apparently it almost really is. And basically this is the headline, is that the 63-year-old actor Alec Baldwin, he left New Mexico, apparently. He has already left. He accidentally shot, the firearm, it mischarged, or discharged is the right word. It went off, basically, and he accidentally shot Helena Hutchins, who was a cinematographer, and killed her. And it also hit the director, who is currently injured from the shot. But he's still alive. But of course, Helena Hutchins died from this shot that was fired from a gun that was being held by Alec Baldwin. And of course, they got her, rushed her to the hospital, and then she was pronounced dead. Tragic situation for everyone involved, honestly. I mean, it's got to really suck for Alec Baldwin, honestly, because in some people, there are people that may not agree with who he is as a person or what his beliefs are, whether he's whatever they don't believe in, whether they disagree in his religious beliefs or his political beliefs or whatever you have it, Still, no matter who it is, to be able to give basically a real gun and think it's fake and then accidentally shoot it and it kills somebody on a set. Like Alec Baldwin, even though he hasn't been charged with murder, but he killed somebody. I mean, there's no doubt in that. Alec Baldwin, the actor, has now just killed a woman. And of course it wasn't on purpose. But what do you do about that? Like, is that his fault for accidentally shooting it? Is it the prop department? Is it their fault for giving him a firearm that wasn't ready yet? Because you use guns that have blanks in them to make it look more realistic in the movie when you're filming it. That way, if they shoot in the air as a warning shot, like in the Western movies, when they shoot in the air for a warning shot, to get everybody's attention or something other, they could use a real gun, or not a real gun, but like a real gun with a blank in it. That way it does the real sound. It has the smoke comes out of the barrel. That way it looks realistic instead of having to make it CGI. But it's still it's really tragic of what happened, that Helena Hutchins died on this movie, because whenever you watch a movie, of course, you really just don't think about it, but because you're up in the movie. But where the perspective is in the movie, of course, there's a camera there, and there's many people behind that, holding the microphones, holding the cameras, the director, other actors ready to go on set, and many other people that are there, like her. She was a cinematographer, and she was there, of course, working on this movie Rust. And there's many people behind it. So whenever something like this happens and they shoot towards the camera, there's people there. I never really thought about it until this, is that there's real people behind that. And of course, those are all the people, the backbone of every movie ever made in human history. And the thought of this happening is it's so tragic, and thoughts and condolences and prayers go out to Helena Hutchins' family, and also to the director for a speedy recovery. I think he is recovering really well, but of course, he took a bullet, basically, or blank or whatever actually hit him. He got shot, and then, Alec Baldwin is such in a pickle right now, because for him to come over this emotionally, being and from what I've heard before, of course, he's a nice guy personally, but no matter who it is, to accidentally kill somebody when you're of his stature, of being this well-known actor who has been in 100 or more movies, it's just a full-out tragedy. So thoughts and condolences go out to Helena Hutchins' family, and hopefully the director gets better soon. Also, let's go ahead and talk about this in the news on a lighter tone here. Which, this is kind of a lighter tone, but let me just read you the headline real quick. Let's see. All right. Angry burglar leaves note after not finding money. Now, so apparently, I saw this on Instagram a week or two ago, that this happened in the home of a person named, I'm going to butcher this, because this happened in the city of Duas, India, and the homeowner's name is Madhya Pradesh, and apparently he is a government officer for the government in India, and somebody broke into his house. A thief, an enraged thief, left a note. So the order of events is that the government officer was not there, and so a thief broke into the house trying to steal valuables, money, anything they could get that had value to it. So the thief, the burglar who broke in, did not find any money, did not find anything of value in the house. So as a thief, apparently, I mean, I've never broken into somebody's house or stole anything, and I don't plan on it at any time in my life. But this burglar didn't find anything. So he got mad, and because of him being mad that this guy had nothing valuable in his house to steal, the burglar left a note. Because the burglar broke into his house and was mad because the guy he's breaking into had nothing of value. So the burglar left a note that basically said, they translated it, when there was no money, you shouldn't have locked the house, collector. So basically this burglar's saying, if you have nothing valuable in your home, don't lock your house. Because the thief had to go through work to break into this government officer's house to steal something, and there was nothing to steal. And so this guy left a note. Like, this is straight comedy stuff. Like, this would be something, I feel like this is like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Like, I feel like I've watched this as a kid when it was like animated as a cartoon or something. Like, this is... It's just, it's so funny. Like, I know, of course, the burglar shouldn't have broke into somebody's house because, one, it's illegal, and I don't know. I understand if you, like, need money and you think that burglary is an easy way to get money, but he broke in, couldn't find anything, and then left an angry note. And that was it. And then the guy left, apparently. And that was it. That's all that happened. I don't know if the burglar ever got caught or not. But, man, imagine coming home one day and your house has been broken in. And there's a note left on the dining room table in your house. And it says, if there's nothing valuable in here, why'd you lock the door? And so basically, this guy, the burglar, is kind of like a savage here because he just called out this guy for having nothing of value in his house. So he's like, man, the inside of your house sucks, so I'm just going to leave. So that's kind of funny to me, just the thought of that happening. I mean, do any of y'all think that could happen? I mean, of course, like, even if there's, like, nothing you can see, like, if there's no money laying around, there's got to be something of value, like a watch or some type of, like, expensive bag, or if you have just anything, like, you could steal a TV if you wanted to, if you could fit it out the door, you know. So, that's just hilarious to me. I had to bring that up because that's just so funny. The thought of a guy breaking into your house and you having nothing of value worth to steal. So the guy leaves a note saying, if you had nothing valuable, don't lock your house. Which, that's not a life lesson. Don't listen to that. If you have, like, if your house is completely empty on the inside, that would be the only reason to keep it unlocked. If no one's home, that means, like, it's just a husk of a house. That's the only reason I can honestly think that your house could stay unlocked, is if everything has been tore out and there's no furniture, no valuable items, nothing. Other than that, if there's at least one thing in the house, you should lock the door. Like, there's no reason to keep your doors unlocked all day and expect nothing to happen, you know. So, I don't know. That was just a crazy thing I saw the other week. And I don't really have any update on that I don't know if that guy got caught. I don't know if the government... I mean, it's a government officer, so I feel like something happened. That'd be like breaking into a police officer's house, like, you know, so... It's just so funny. So, with that out of the way, get into some more somewhat news, into the technological area of news. Everyone's favorite company, Apple. Everybody loves Apple. Everybody loves Apple. I have an Apple iPhone, and that's it. That's all. That's the only Apple product I think I own. I've had a couple Apple iPhones, but I don't have a Mac. I don't have the watch. But there's something that a lot of people have, and that is the topic for right now, is the AirPods. Now, many of you out there that are listening to this right now may have AirPods, or you may not. Or you might be considering to get a pair of AirPods. So, if you are considering to get the newest generation of AirPods, which is, I think, generation 3, I think it's the third one, the newest generation of Apple AirPods cost only a little amount of $180. Why those two little bitty things that for one thing, I don't like AirPods. Now hear me out. They don't fit well in my ears. They've scratched up my ears before, even when they were just normal AirPods with the wire still attached, which is the pair that they get. Whenever you buy a new iPhone, that's what you get. You get the charging cord, and you get AirPods that can plug into your phone, and you can listen to music. Now, I understand that AirPods are a useful item to have, that you can put them in when you work out, if you run, if you work. Any instance that you may think you want AirPods, they're way better than EarPods. I will understand that. But I don't know. I understand that I'm reading right now. Apparently, the new AirPods are like waterproof and sweatproof, which I thought the last ones were apparently. I've never owned a pair of AirPods for that reason of putting them in my ears. I've never really liked the last ones, that the ones that have a wire in them. Like, I never really like them. I only use them if I needed to record something on my phone with the little microphone on the right earpiece, you know. But I understand why they're useful, because of no cord. Like, there's no cord. You can move around. You can put your phone down. You can put your phone in your pocket. There's no cord there. Me, personally, I like headphones more. The ones that go all the way around your ears. Now, they may be more expensive. I have talked about, I think it was either the beginning of this year or last year around this time, whenever Apple announced their headphones, and they were like $550, or you can get these AirPods for $180, which plus tax would be probably very close to $200. Because that's Apple for you. But if you want them, you are more than welcome to go get them. I am not an Apple fanatic. I am not one of those people that anything new that comes out of Apple that I gotta buy. Like, that's not me. I like their stuff. I like the iPhone. I would much rather have the iPhone more than any other phone company. I will say that. I've only owned iPhone, actually. The first phone I ever got was an iPhone, and the only brand of phones I've ever had is Apple. I've never strayed away from that. I've never gotten the Google. I've never gotten an Android. I've never gotten anything else. But with everything else they get, or they have for sale, I've never gotten. I have a Dell computer that works just fine. I would probably get me a new one in the next year or two, I imagine. Because I've had it since like 9th grade of high school, so this thing is old. This thing's like 6 or more years old. Actually, good Lord, is it like 8 years old already? Close to that. Because I'm a senior in college now, and I had this as a freshman in high school, so it's been a while. And it still works. It's got everything on it, you know. I mean, sometimes it's slow, and sometimes it just takes a while to update and stuff like that. But it still works, and I think it can last me until next May when I graduate. But would I consider buying a MacBook? Yeah, I mean, I've looked into them before, and they're kind of cool, and you can, like, put your the stuff on your phone onto the computer, like you're saying music, and you can, like, text off of your computer and FaceTime probably, which I don't do that. I haven't done that in, like, a year or so, I feel like. But why? Like, why would I want a MacBook when I can get another computer that's probably better? You know what I'm saying? And why would I buy like $600 headphones when I can get another pair of like Beats that are, in my opinion, better? Why would I get AirPods when I could just have headphones? Because I don't like AirPods. But if you want them, you're more than welcome to buy them. I'm not saying don't get them. They're probably pretty good. And if you're okay with jamming them suckers all the way into your eardrum, all the way into your brain there, I am more than happy for you. Like, you can get them. You can shove them as far in your ears as you want. Dig all that earwax out of there, and just have a good old time with them. Me personally, I am not interested in buying them. If Apple wants to sponsor me, I will more than likely take that sponsorship, and they can send me a free pair. I will actually wear them. But and anything else they want to send me, they more than likely can. I am more than welcome to accept anything from Apple as long as it's free, of course, and they can sponsor me and pay me money. But other than that reason, if I actually have to buy them, I will not. I will not choose to buy them. If they are given to me as a gift, I will try them out and I will see if I like them and try to wear them. But I'm not seeking this out. I'm not seeking out the AirPods because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's something Apple, I gotta buy it. No, I'm not gonna buy it because I don't want it. And I have a pair of Beats headphones that work perfectly fine. I've used this pair for I think almost a year now, because the last pair I had, it broke the part that goes over your head. One of the pieces that like extends on the right side snapped the other way, like away from my head. And like the cords inside still worked and it was still able to get on my head, but it didn't fit real well. Like I taped it up a little bit, but other than that, it lasted probably another week or two, and it was not good. So we just bought another pair, and problem solved. Beats are really good. Beats are probably my favorite brand of headphones right now. But yeah, I'm not buying Apple AirPods. You can check me off that list. So with all that, of course, let's talk about everybody's favorite app. Got off of everybody's favorite company. Let's go all the way down to someone's favorite app. And everybody loves Facebook. Now, with Facebook, this is actually some big news, honestly. Facebook, and of course, everybody's favorite Facebook owner, Mark Zuckerberg, they have officially announced they are changing the name of Facebook. Yeah, they are changing Facebook's name. It will no longer be called Facebook. I don't know when this is going to go into act, but soon enough, it will not be called Facebook anymore. It will be called Meta. That is right. The letter M-E-T-A. Meta. I don't know why. I mean, honestly, my opinion on that is that Meta is a cool name. I like the name Meta. The word Meta is cool. I mean, cool. Sure, like whatever, I think it was Mark Zuckerberg that said they wanted to change the name of Facebook to more modern and look towards the future, because with every day, of course, we're discovering new things. We're advancing more and more technologically nowadays at such a fast pace that you cannot even change something for like a month and you're already behind. Like, it's that bad. And I mean, it's also that good as well, as long as you just like keep yourself updated with the times and keep going, But that's what Facebook has in mind, is that they want to keep in keep in the name, keep in the norm, keep going with it, So they're changing the name Facebook because apparently that is now a old name and overused. So they're going to change it to Meta, which I feel like people are going to call it MetaBook, which would be funny. Just imagine that. Like, what you doing over there? Oh, I was scrolling on MetaBook. But I mean, Meta's a cool name, like I just said, but how can you change the name of Facebook? Facebook is such an iconic name, and it's its own brand that, I don't know, like, it's so weird to me that, like, Facebook has their own thing called Facebook Gaming, which, if you don't know, there's this other app called Twitch. And Twitch is what the streamers who play games, who go live and they'll play video games and have a chat, and they'll subscribe to them, gift to them. Like Ninja is one of the top ones. Dr. Disrespect, if you ever heard of him, he is also a big Twitch gamer. There's a guy named XQC who is also another one. Twitch has that's Twitch. But Facebook wanted to go against that with Facebook Gaming, and they also have people that go on Facebook and go live and will play games there as well. Now, if they change the name of Facebook and change Facebook Gaming to Meta Gaming, now that is an awesome name. I like Meta Gaming. Like, that sounds cool. This sounds kind of like a subscription service, honestly. Oh, I'm going to get subscribed to Meta Gaming. Like, that's just cool to me. But changing the overall app to Meta is because in my opinion, which is the big five, I guess now, the big four were Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And now the fifth one is TikTok now, of course. So now you got TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Meta. So they're going to have to change, and they've already showed the logo, which is a couple lines put together to make the letter M. So, because they're changing it from the F to an M. So, I don't know. I mean, I like the name, but I feel like it would be better off as something newer, like as a new social media app instead of rebranding Facebook into Meta. But, it is what it is, and I'm excited to see what it does in the future, and they probably have big things planned. And Meta will now be, it's a cooler name for all of our data to get stolen by them nowadays. So, yeah, that's cool. So, going into some entertainment news here, go into the HBO Max side of things. The series Peacemaker, starring John Cena as Peacemaker, will be premiering on HBO Max on January 13th, 2022. Of course, it is finished filming. They showed a trailer at the DC Fandom 2 weeks ago, and it looks good. Of course, if you watched The Suicide Squad, John Cena's Peacemaker was in that, and he is a really fun and cool character. I like him a lot, and this show is going to be showing off more of him because he will be the main character, of course. I mean, the show is named after him. So if you're interested in to see and learn more about that character and to have just a good show to watch, if you have HBO Max, check it out on January 13th. That is the Peacemaker series on HBO Max. Also revealed from the DC Fandom, they showed, what was it, like the first minute or two of the Black Adam movie starring The Rock as Black Adam, which this is weird. The thought of just the DC franchise already has both The Rock and John Cena. I mean, now they all they gotta do now is get Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they got all of them. That'd be wild to have Steve Austin in there in the DC franchise. That'd be pretty cool. They showed more of the Black Adam movie. That's going to be really good. I cannot wait because The Rock is Black Adam and Dr. Fate is being played by Pierce Brosnan. And then they have like Hawkman, and I think Hawkgirl is in there too, and then some other people that I don't remember. They showed another trailer for The Batman with Robert Pattinson's Batman. That show, or that movie, is going to be awesome. I think Robert Pattinson is going to do one. I've said it from the beginning. Honestly, whenever it was announced that he was going to be the next Batman, a lot of people were like, oh, this is the Twilight guy. He's the vampire from Twilight, you know. But he's done so much more since Twilight movies, like a bunch of indie movies. And he did that movie, what was it called? The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe. It was that black and white movie that took place in a lighthouse. A lot of people liked it. It won so many awards, and he's like a good actor now. And now he's coming back to such a big name movie, being the Batman. I think it's gonna be great. He could be in contention as one of the greatest. Of course, like the top two greatest considered by a lot of people is either Michael Keaton or Christian Bale. And I think Pattinson can be up there with them in that standard. It's going to be really good. Of course, the Penguin and the Riddler and Catwoman are all in it. So it's going to be interesting to see. I can't wait to see it in theaters. I don't know when it comes out. So sometime next year in 2022, I do know that. So they also showed there is an Aquaman series on HBO Max. It is animated. They revealed the next Aquaman movie with Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He's returning. What else did they show? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. They showed the Flash movie, which that movie's going to be wild because apparently this is the Flash from the Snyder Justice League movie. He goes into some alternate reality or something other where he runs so fast he just goes into another dimension. And he's somehow in the dimension from the 80-something, like 89 Batman movie. And he's somehow into meeting Michael Keaton's Batman. And I don't know, understand. It'll be explained more. But the Flash from the new movies is meeting Michael Keaton's Batman, and it's apparently rumored that Ben Affleck's Batman is going to be in it, and that movie's coming out next year as well. So quite possibly in 2 movies we'll be seeing 3 different Batman next year. So yeah, so there's a lot coming out of DC next year. So with all of the Marvel stuff in there too, and the Star Wars show, good God, like everything. Next year is just going to be such a stellar year as long as nothing gets delayed again. But everything will be stellar. Like 2022 is just going to be such a good year. So going into the Star Wars things, before we get into the Marvel news, of course, going into Star Wars real quick, the man himself, Hayden Christensen, has already been confirmed that he will be playing the role, reprising the role of Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader in the Ahsoka series. Now, before anybody says anything, of course, if you watch the Clone Wars, Ahsoka at the last season was on her own with Captain Rex at the end, after Order 66 happens and Anakin was turned into Darth Vader. I don't know when this series is going to take place in the lore, you know. Of course, it's Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka, and she was in the Mandalorian series, so therefore that might be, if it's taking place then, that's after episode 6, because of the Empire has already been defeated, Darth Vader is dead, the Emperor is reportedly dead, and Luke Skywalker is the big dog now with the Republic, or with, yeah, that's what they are, or the Rebellion, that's what it is. And if it's taking place at that time, that means Anakin will be a Force ghost, or it'll be flashbacks to the Clone Wars, or as Darth Vader, or it may show off a lot. We might get a live action lightsaber duel between Darth Vader and Ahsoka, which will be very, very nice to see him returning as that. And of course, it's already been confirmed that he's returning as Anakin and Vader for the Kenobi series, which is going to be coming next year. I can't wait. Like, we said that 2021 was going to be the year of movies, but honestly, 2022, like, if you just look at the lineup of Marvel, Star Wars, and DC, just those 3 companies alone, we already got such a big year worth of movies and series. Not to mention literally anything else that's coming out next year, whether it be on Netflix or Amazon Prime. We're already getting another season of The Boys. If we get another season of Invincible by the end of next year, if we get, I don't know, another season of something on Netflix, like Squid Game isn't going to come out. That as of right now, there's not a season 2 planned for Squid Game. But if anything, any news comes out of that, that'd be awesome. But I don't know. It's just going to be such a good year next year, and I can't really wait. It's just, I don't know. I have no words for it, honestly. So, excuse me. With all that being said, it is now time to talk about Marvel. Dadgummit! I don't know why. Okay. So, first off, let me just go ahead and say, next week is the Eternals. I am so excited that next week is the Eternals. Like, we're already here. Like, it's so weird to me to think that, when was it, like a month or two ago when Shang-Chi came out, and next week is the Eternals, the second to last Marvel movie of this year. And it's going to be so good. I can't wait to see that movie. I don't know much about them. I know a lot of the actors, of course, because I don't even know what his name is. I think his name is Icarus in Marvel, but Rob Stark, Richard Madden, that's his real name. He was Rob Stark in Game of Thrones, and of course, Jon Snow, who is played by Kit Harington, but in the Marvel universe, he is playing a character by the name of the Black Knight. And it's going to be good. He didn't look like he had much part in the trailer, but Kevin Feige already confirmed that he'll have more of a bigger role later in the movies and series. So, starting out, next week is the Eternals, and I will hopefully see it either next week or the week after. I can't wait, and it's going to be an awesome movie. Then on November 24th, I think, is the premiere of the Hawkeye series, which will be on Disney+, which will be really good to watch and very interesting to see how that goes. Then, of course, the penultimate thing ending this year, rounding it off in Marvel, of course, on December 17th is Spider-Man No Way Home, and let's freaking go. They have already said that this movie might as well not be called Spider-Man No Way Home. They said it should be called Spider-Man Endgame. As they said, this is basically the Endgame, but for Spider-Man. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to die. I don't know if he's going to go to another dimension or reality and be there now. I don't know what's going to happen. So, I don't know if Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is going to show up. I don't know, because Doc Ock's already there. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see. It's going to be such a good movie. I know everybody is so hyped for it. It's going to be good. So, yeah. And that will be ending out the Marvel side of things for this year, with 2 movies and 1 series left in this year. It's already been such a great year for Marvel already, with the 3 series we've gotten so far, which honestly, 4. Yeah. We've gotten WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, and the What If series, and with the 2 movies of Black Widow and Shang-Chi. Already been a great year, but now we got to round it out with the Eternals, Hawkeye, and the Spider-Man movie. So, going to be really good. But, with all that being said, Marvel has decided that starting with Doctor Strange, the next movie coming out in 2022, from that movie forward, they have been pushed back again. I don't know why. I guess maybe because of COVID, that's the only thing I can expect. But what they did, which is, I mean, it's a good idea since they already had this, that they already had the movies planned for a certain day. So they just took, like, Doctor Strange was supposed to be in March, and they pushed it back to the May date where the Thor movie was supposed to take place. So they already had those dates set for a movie. They just changed the movie. So, and that's why Kevin Feige's like, we look ahead like 3 to 4 years in advance and pick a certain day. Pick like 4 or 5 for movies to come out for Marvel. And then if we have to push them back, we know what day they can be pushed back to on the next movie. So it's a good idea, of course, but I just don't want these movies to be pushed back. So next year, as of right now, we're only getting 3 Marvel movies. I honestly think it's because of COVID. Because why else? What else is happening? Is there something that I don't know about? Am I out of the loop on something going on right now? Like, I don't understand. So, but with that being said, after Spider-Man December 17th, the next Marvel movie we will be getting, we'll have to wait until May 6th of 2022 for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I honestly think it's a good. I mean, it's a good and bad idea to have them be pushed back. It's good because if COVID is pretty much over, like if everybody is vaccinated, and I don't know about these boosters or all this kind of stuff. If COVID, the disease itself, just dies down, and most people are not getting it anymore, of course that'd be a great thing and awesome for everybody, but also it'd be awesome for the entertainment business. That way they don't have to push stuff back every week, you know. So, Doctor Strange, and it gives us time, honestly, to cool off from the Spider-Man movie, because it's December 17th and the next movie's May the 6th. So we got a good many months, anywhere between 5 and 6 months to cool off before the next movie, which is going to be even big, not bigger, but even as big movie with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness on May the 6th, and then Thor: Love and Thunder on July 8th, and then Black Panther: Wakanda Forever on November 11th, and that will round out the year with those 3 movies. And then everything after that, of course, is like The Marvels is February 17th of 23, and Guardians of the Galaxy is May 5th of 2023, and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is July 28th of 2023. There will be a 4th movie in 2023, and then 2 more movies that haven't been determined for a date, and they've already set up the date, all 4 dates for 2024, with February, May, July, and November. Those are really the months that they go with right now, is either February or March. Because you can really see, like, all these days in each year are really close. Like May 6th, 2022, and then May 5th, 2023. Like, just a day behind. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, we still got to round out this year to see what actually happens with the Eternals and Spider-Man. I just lost everything in my head. So we got the Eternals and Spider-Man movies left, and the Hawkeye series in between them. So, yeah, so it'll be really good to see what actually happens out of that. So, real quick here, I did want to mention that, I did watch the Dune movie this past week. It was available it's still available in theaters, and it was on the 30-day, not trial, but the 30 days, the first 30 days it's in theaters. It's also on HBO Max for free for anybody who actually has an HBO Max subscription. I watched it at home, and I will say it is, if you have the opportunity to see this in theaters, I would recommend seeing this in theaters. I watched it at home, and while it was good, long, and somewhat confusing for most of it, visually, this movie is a 10 out of 10. The music in it is a 10 out of 10. Hans Zimmer, who is a very well-known composer, he's up there with the man who composed the Star Wars music. Was his name George Williams? I think it was. Because George Lucas is the guy who created Star Wars. So Hans Zimmer did all the music for Dune. Visually, this movie is a masterpiece. I never read the book. Apparently there's a book that I just didn't know about until now. There's a book called Dune, and that's what all this is based on, of course. And then there was a movie in the 80s, and I never watched it. I could check it out. But I'm going to go ahead and give you my review, so if you don't want any spoilers to Dune, you can speed this up a little bit to get to the question and the review. But other than that, I mean, you're not going to be spoiled to too much because I've already forgotten most of it. So here's my Dune review. First off, I'd like to say this movie's weird. If you want to watch a long, weird movie, you should do that. You should watch Dune. And secondly, like I just said, this movie is very long. It's like 2.5 hours, over 2.5 hours. That's the only thing I had with it, was that it was long, but it didn't feel like it was that long for most of it, because there was a lot of talking, and there was a good balance of talking and action between a long movie. Like, it wasn't just constantly killing people and fighting and all that, but it wasn't all talking that had no fighting, which would have, if there was no fight scenes or battle scenes in this movie, it would have been totally boring for me. But it had good battles where it could. For some reason, I see this as Star Wars, but not Star Wars. It's like Star Wars mixed with Game of Thrones, and then the director who made this movie had that idea and was like, we'll make Star Wars, but we'll also add in Game of Thrones style to it, and we're going to make this as if we want to win an Oscar for Best Movie. Because usually a lot of the movies that are nominated for Best Oscar or nominated for an Oscar for Best Movie, it's not, some of them aren't that good to me because they're nominated for their reasons, of course. But it's like, I know that like John Wick isn't going to be nominated for Best Movie, but I still like it. You know, I still think it's a really good movie. And like this movie, it's Star Wars because of space, and like there's many different planets. It takes place in the future. It's really futuristic. It's in the year like 19,000 something, because we're in the year 2021, and this is in 19,700 something or whatever. They announced at the beginning of the movie, when you start, it says Dune, and then it said Part 1, and I was like, oh my, no. And then it says at the end, which it didn't say it, but it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, but I don't know why. And then they didn't even announce there was a Part 2 until this week. They just announced that Part 2 of Dune will be coming out exclusively only in theaters on October 20th, 2023. So we got another 2 years to wait for this movie, and that movie will actually, I think, will be the money movie. It'll be a lot better, because this one guy I saw that talked about it, he said, you know, your normal movie has an Act 1, an Act 2, and an Act 3, where Act 1 sets all the characters, you learn their stories. Act 2 is the actual story in the movie going towards the end, and then Act 3 is the climax of the story, and then the ending of it, of course. This movie felt like entirely just Act 1. This was just an Act 1 movie where it had to set up all the characters, you had to learn most of their names, why this is happening, what year this is taking place, the time period, how they're all interconnected, how this is happening, how that's happening, why this is happening, just all that. And then the very end of the movie, and they were like, okay, we're going to work together and we're going to do this. And then they're like, yeah. And then they saw the giant worm and somebody was riding it. And they were like, whoa, that's cool. And then it ended. That was the end of the movie. And I was confused. Like, I feel like I was more confused at the end than I was at the beginning, because I had no clue. I went into this movie with nothing. No, all I knew is that there were a lot of famous actors in it, which were great. The woman who played the guy's mom, Timothy Chalamet, played Paul. And he's a good actor as it is. But the woman who played his mom, I feel like she cries or is dirty in every movie she's in. I feel like she's always plays the woman who's like dirty and covered in sand or dirt or mud, and it's like got her hair all drenched, and then she's crying a lot. Like that part of the woman who wins Best Actress Oscar, like that's her. Like that's totally who she is. She did great. What's his name? Oscar Isaac as the dad did great. He was also Poe Dameron in the sequel Star Wars movies. That's the only reason I know him. I still call him Poe Dameron. So, Josh Brolin was good. Jason Momoa was awesome. And Jason Momoa, I just gotta say this: Jason Momoa, who plays Aquaman, of course, he only plays one character in every movie. Every movie and everything I've seen this man in, he's the same dude. Like, he's not anything different. He's the same guy who's like, yeah, whoa, bro, let's do this, man. Like, that's him. Like, Jason Momoa, I don't know if he ever going to win a Best Actor award, because, like, he does not change. Like, he's an awesome guy, and I think his acting's great, of course. But whenever you see him in, like, interviews, and you see him in the Aquaman movie, or you see him in Dune, or you see him in any other movie, he's the same man. He's the same exact guy who he is. He's that playful guy who's like, yeah, whoa, he's my bro. Like, yeah, bro handshake, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, bro hug, man. Like, I don't know what is going on. And, I mean, I like the guy. Like, if I met him, I'd probably love him, you know. He seems like a good guy. A lot of people say he's such a good guy. But he's the same character in every single movie that he's in. And it's like, dude, like, can you do anything else? Like, but Jason Momoa, I'm not downing you. Honestly, I want you to stay the same way as you are. Like, who you are now is perfect. Don't change. You're such a good guy. Like, I know you're listening to this, Jason Momoa. So stay the same way you are, and you will be in tons and tons and more movies, of course. So, but other than Jason Momoa, if you haven't seen the Dune movie, go and check it out. Honestly, if you have the opportunity to see this in theaters or even in like an IMAX theater, which would be awesome to watch this in, check it out. Really, like, it's such, like, even if you have no clue like I did, and you won't have any clue after, visually, it's stunning. Such an awesome movie. The way it looks, all the colors, visually, graphically, it's so awesome. The work with the music and composition of that is so good. It just so goes together so well. So, if you have an opportunity, go see Dune. I'd give this movie like a 7 or 8 out of 10 total, because it's a good movie. I wouldn't want to watch it again. Like, whenever the second one comes out, I might consider watching the first one, just rewatching it to get a refresher. But Batista's in this movie as well. But yeah, so it's a good movie. I recommend watching it, and if you have the opportunity to go see it, I would say go see it. So, with all of that being said, with Dune over with, we're going to go ahead and get into some questions right here. I have got one question from all of you out there. Of course, if you want to submit a question that you would like for me to answer on an episode of the Toddcast in the future, go down to my YouTube page. There is a link in the description of this episode, whether you're listening, no matter what you're listening on this, Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, anything, whatever podcast provider you listen to this on, there is a link to my YouTube channel down below. Go to that, and then go to one of the videos, click on it, and go down to the comments section, and just comment a question, a would you rather question, any question really that you would like for me to answer here on an episode in the future. Go ahead and do that. And with all that being said, I've got one question here, and it's not even a question, but I know what you're saying. And thank you for this question, because it's honestly interesting. They commented the snail question. Now, for those of you that I knew what this question was back when it happened. So, for those of you that don't know, it was not really like a would you rather question. It was a question proposed by the YouTube company Rooster Teeth. And back in like 2014 or 15. But it was interesting for the question. It was one of those where it was the push the button type question, where it was like, you get this and you get this, but this has to happen. It's one of those types of question. Okay. So, here's the question. This is like a dumbed down version of the question. So, you and a super intelligent snail. Okay, let me just read this. So, it's you as the person. get $10 million right up front. If you push this button, you get $10 million. And you become immortal. You will never die from anything. You will never catch any disease. You will never grow old. Like, as the age you are now, you can select if you want to become immortal now. Like, if you push the button right now, like, I am 22 years old, I will stay and look this age forever, for the rest of eternity. And you get $10 million up front. Of course, if you are immortal, you can work and get more money and all that kind of stuff too. So, you get $10 million and you are immortal. But there is a snail that also has immortality and cannot die. This snail has a sole purpose in its life, and that is to hunt you down and kill you. And it's not going to have to, like, strangle you or nothing like that. As soon as the snail touches you, you will die a horrible death. And then that's it. That's the question. So you get $10 million and immortality, but there is a snail who also is immortal, and its sole purpose will hunt you down until the end of time. And if it touches you, you will die a horrible death. That is the question. So you're asking me this question. Would I do this? Like, it follows you. Like, but it's the same speed as a normal snail. I mean, it's going slow. It's crawling. So a lot of people, and for those of you that don't know, the reason this became a question today is because it was a big question back in 2014, 15, whenever this was posed a couple of years ago. It apparently became a big trend the past week or two on TikTok, which if you have a TikTok, you can follow me on TikTok at ToddMacManus99. I'm on there. I post a lot. But it became a trend because somebody found it, I guess. I don't know why it became a trend. But people were talking about their different ways and their different plans of doing this. And they were making fun of it, saying, like, me in couple thousands of years, in thousands and even maybe like a million years or whatever, whenever the sun explodes, and me and that snail are the only ones left on Earth after humanity has been erased, that you just accept death and just let the snail touch you. That way you can die finally. That's just what the trend was. It's kind of dark, but it's still funny. But but it's a snail. It's not. It has immortality, but it has no other powers. So the only reason you can, like, if I accepted this right now while I'm sitting here recording this, I don't know where the snail is. The snail knows where I'm at every given minute. The snail knows where I'm at. Like, it's the predator. Like, he knows where I'm at, what I'm doing, and he's coming for me. But he can't be killed, and I can't touch him because I will die. So what you do, what one guy, I know for sure he said this, is that you get one of your friends to pick him up, because I can't touch him because I'll die. So you get, like, one of your good friends to pick him up and put him in, like, a box and just don't let him out, and then that's it. And you put this box in, like, a bigger box or something, and you, like, put it underground or something other. I don't know. You lock it in a room somewhere. You put it to where the snail can't get out. And if the snail can't get out, it's just going to sit in there forever because he's immortal and he can't die. So the snail is just going to sit for the rest of eternity, I guess. Basically, the snail's going to stay in there until you accept death, basically. That way I can put the snail in there, and then I don't know how fast snails move either, but you put the snail in there until the time comes that you want to die, or you're like, oh, there's nothing else to live for. You can, of course, you're the only one immortal. That means you're going to see everybody around you die, which is also dark to see that, like, all of your family, friends, and, like, you can have so many families. Like, you can really repopulate the world if you're immortal, because you can, like, get with a woman, or get with a man, or get with whoever, have kids, and then once they have lived out their lives, you go and get another spouse, have more kids down the line, and just populate basically your own entire country almost, just your offspring. But I don't know. It's weird. Just the thought. Would I do it? Honestly, if that's what you're asking me, would I do this? I would actually, yes, I would do it. I would honestly push the button and say yes. Because you get $10 million up front and immortality. And immortality is awesome. Like, a lot of people have said that they don't want to live forever because they don't want to either grow old and, I mean, we're no matter what you believe in, we're on the earth to live and die. That's like the two most important things in your life is when you're born and when you die. And for me, honestly, I would accept immortality and the snail is the only way out. Well, then, yeah, you still have a way out. Like if you're sick of immortality, if you've lived for thousands of years and you're like, you know what, the only thing I haven't done in my life is die. If you can you can get ripped, like you can get all the muscles you want, you can get all the money you want, you can have as many kids as you want, whatever, But yeah, I would do this. If I could get the millions of dollars and immortality and just have an immortal snail have an immortal snail hunt me down, I'll be fine with that. So, to answer your question, like I already said, yes, I will definitely let the snail hunt me down with the millions of dollars, and I have immortality. So, thank you for that question. Like I said, make sure you go to my YouTube channel and comment a question you would like for me to answer on a future episode of the Toddcast. So, with all that being said, it is time for a candy review because this episode comes out on Halloween. Right? No, that's a lie. Halloween is next Sunday. This episode comes out the day before Halloween on the 30th. So, I've got two candies I've never had before. These are given to me by my sister. I'm going to figure out how I am opening these. Oh, here we go. If you want to see a picture of these, head on over to the Toddcast Instagram page at _Toddcast_, only on Instagram, of course. I'm having a hard time with these. It smells good. I can just open it. Ooh! Oh, Jesus. That is interesting. So the first item that I have on the list here is, I don't even know where these came from, honestly. But the first thing I have that I'm going to be trying is something called Nerds Gummy Clusters. Now, while I situate everything here in this loud as crap bags. Nerds Gummy Clusters. I've never had them before. I like Nerds ropes. The ropes, They have Laffy Taffy ropes too. That's one of my favorite things to get from the theater. Whenever you go to like a theater and you want to eat candy. At the theater, whenever I'm watching Dune. No, I saw Dune at home. I didn't watch it in the theater. So, Nerds Gummy Clusters, they look cool. Because it's like, let me read the bag. 16 pieces or 100 calories. There's 8 servings in this bag. This is a fruity gummy center surrounded by very berry nerds. Okay, I like nerds. A lot of sugar, of course. 1 gram of protein. This has protein? Have we been sleeping on nerds? Nerds have protein? Are you kidding me? What? It says protein, 1G. This has 1 gram of protein. How? In what? The gummy? This is weird. Well, I'm going to stack up on these. I'm going to eat me some Nerds Gummy Clusters and get ripped. So, Nerds Gummy Clusters, I'm going to eat one and see how it is on the scale from 0 to 100, of course. And trying out candy, of course, for Halloween. So, let's go ahead and give the Nerds Gummy Clusters a try. Oh, I love Nerds. Nerds is such a S tier candy. I'm going to have to eat another one. Here's some good ASMR for you. Sorry if you hear me chewing. I apologize for that. But these are really good. Nerds Gummy Clusters. On a scale from 0 to 100 with no decimals. I'm going to give you a... Let's see. I'm going to give you an 88. That's honestly good. I would eat these more. Again, I'm probably going to eat this entire bag, honestly. I'm going to eat another one. It takes a while. That's the only reason it's not higher. But I love Nerds. The gummy clusters in the middle are really gummy. Comes in those resealable like bags, you know, or reclosable is what it says. Yeah, really good. Nerds Gummy Clusters. That's 88. That's really good. I would eat those again. Now, they're gonna choke me up too. Now is something that I have never heard of before. I've never thought I would have this before. I never knew it was a thing before. I don't know if I'm excited or not. It has more calories than the Nerds, but no protein, so I can't get ripped off of this, but a crap ton of sugar. This is Dr. Pepper Cotton Candy. Now, first off, I don't really like Dr. Pepper. It's not my preferred drink. Let me try and open this too. It comes in a shit bag too, which is weird. Holy crap! Oh my god! That did not smell good when I smelt it. I thought it was going to be brown, but it's actually like a dark red color. Alright. Dr. Pepper Cotton Candy. Let's see where you stand on the list. Oh my god, it tastes just like Dr. Pepper. Wow. That is revolutionary. Wow, that is so weird. How does that taste like Dr. Pepper? My mind is blown. Like, it's not that good because I don't like Dr. Pepper, honestly, but... That is wild. Wow. I gotta seal that. It's not as good as the Nerds. I don't like it as good as the Nerds Gummy Clusters, but it really... I should honestly give it a couple... I'm giving it a couple points, honestly, because of how close it is to Dr. Pepper. Like, that is such... Wow, like, that's what they need to do. Like, I know they've tried to do, like... Oh, they made a root beer one. Oh. Like, I know they've made root beer suckers that aren't good, but... Like, that's revolutionary, honestly. Dr. Pepper Cotton Candy is getting a 78, 10 points lower than the Nerds, because, of course, I don't like the flavor of Dr. Pepper. I've never been a Dr. Pepper guy. But, is it good? It's alright. I would eat it all, honestly. But I wouldn't eat it again. Like, I wouldn't seek this out. If I saw it, I'd be like, whoa, cool, I had that before. But... Oh, wait. I just saw something. This is expired. Oh, my Lord. Oh, man. It might be better then if it wasn't. Let me read this. Best Buy... Oh, never mind. I'm stupid. I can't read. It's best by August 25th of 2022. Okay. It's still got a year left. Okay. I thought it was August 25th this year. I was like, man, this Dr. Pepper Cotton Candy is 2 months expired. Never mind. Okay. I'm just an idiot. I just can't read. That's why it's an audio-only podcast. That way you can't see me read. So it's a 78 only because, one, how close it is to the Dr. Pepper flavor, and also it's still good just because of how much sugar it is. I mean, cotton candy is just like pure sugar that just melts in your mouth. So, Nerds Gummy Clusters, that's awesome. 88 as a candy, that is great. And Dr. Pepper Cotton Candy is a 78 because that's just pretty good as well. So, if you also have any candy recommendations that have never been on an episode of the Toddcast in the past, or if you have any drink brands, I'm still looking for an overall brand of drinks that has many different flavors, like, of course, Fanta, or I know Mike's Hard that I've tried before, the Mike's Hard or Lemonade. But any brand like that that has many different flavors that you can try, like that has 5 or more flavors, of course, comment them down if you want to comment a question or a brand of drinks, or maybe even like a brand of candy that has many different flavors of a certain type of chocolate or something other too, or cotton candy like that. If there are more drink flavored cotton candies out there, let me know, because I would actually like to try them. I can guarantee there's got to be an orange Fanta cotton candy, and that would be so good. So much better than Dr. Pepper. That'd be probably one of my favorite flavors of cotton candy. If they made like an orange soda cotton candy, that'd be so good. But if there's anything like that, make sure you comment them down below in the YouTube comments. That's where I'm taking the questions and the brands down there below. And, of course, the link is down in the description below, and you can go tap on that, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and go ahead and go down there and comment under one of the videos of which question and brand of drinks and candy you'd like to see on a future episode of the Toddcast. So I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank y'all for listening, and as always, please rate and subscribe. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. Make sure you tell all your friends and your family to listen to an episode in the future, of course, and also, of course, the Toddcast is on Instagram. Make sure you follow at @the_Toddcast_ for all Toddcast updates, and to see the pictures of me and the guests, and all the pictures of the candy and drinks that I review for that week. And once again, make sure you tell your friends and your family, give it a listen, and thank all of you for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, well, you're just going to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.